everybody. Welcome to our second virtual shopping. Remember this place? Remember this store? Anyways, why don't we go do some shopping? And let me show you some cool stuff. So there's our hat room. We've moved things around because we're actually expanding all of our different hat lines, which is pretty cool. Now that I'm at the shop and have a little extra time on my hands, I've been expanding the TG brand line as well. So some of the stuff that we make in the hat room that is TG brand is our flower crowns, which are really cool. So I actually ended up buying a whole bunch of flowers a while ago and didn't have time to make them. So I've been just kind of like crazy but I had a customer ask me specifically, hopefully he's watching, he was looking at some goggles and some steampunk stuff. So let's go take a look at those things. Oh, do I have black fabric with a slight sheen to it? Pretty sure I do. We'll take a look at these goggles and then I will head over to the fabric there. So, excuse me. Our most popular, these are our most popular goggles. These actually were in Mad Max, which was pretty cool. These are your most classic steampunk goggles. Some people wear them as is. They're on a elastic band. A lot of people paint them, change them, pop the lenses out, paint the lenses. They're just a really good standard goggle to start with. Plus, they're really, really, really comfortable. Most folks who dabble in steampunk or cosplay or anything, almost everybody has a pair of these guys. They started coming out with different lines, which is really fun. I love these ones. They're not exactly easy to see through. But a lot of people just wear them on their heads or their hats or things like that. It's really cool too. These lenses actually can screw out, so you can put different lenses in, which is really, really cool. So there's those goggles. We've got these ones as well, and these all have elastic back to them. These spike ones have been really fun too. After the black fabric, show us orange red wigs. I will definitely do that. And then these ones are really cool. So these have been really popular with our steampunk folks. The detail on them is really, really cool. You can paint them too and do totally different designs on them. So those are really fun. And then steampunk, you don't have to buy a steampunk line for it to be steampunk. Steampunk is just a look. So this is this is a steampunk line, but this is not the only thing that is steampunk by any means whatsoever. But the few things that we have in a steampunk line are these double thigh holsters. So they're just gun holsters. They're pleather. So we sell a lot of those for steampunk and just kind of like all different reasons too. Actually, we have one more set of goggles here too. So these ones are the black ones. Those are really cool mad scientist goggles and things like that. And then we have the steampunk little pocket watch here, which is really cool. And then like I said, steampunk is majority of the stuff that I sell for steampunk, people just buy the materials and they buy hardware and stuff like that, and they kind of just build things. Okay, so I'm going to go in order here. We're going to go to take a look at the fabric. There's a level on the ground ready to trip me. I didn't fall. It's all good. Look at that. This is one of my favorite things in the store. I don't know why, but just the look of those threads Isn't that pretty? It's so pleasing to the eye. These threads are really cool. So they're really nice. You can put them in your serger. They're little spools. There's a ton of thread on them. You can also use them for top stitching. So they can go in your serger and they can go in your domestic for top stitching as well. So why that's really cool is that you can get 4 of them. You could have them ready for your serger, but also use them for top thread. So you don't have to buy those really huge serger cones, and then you can only use them in your serger. So, but more than anything, I've always really loved this display. It's just very pleasing. Okay, let's go take a look at the fabric. Black. Okay. Slight sheen to it. Do you want like a satin, or do you want what kind of fabric are you looking for? If you're still there, Catherine. Oh, there's this one, which is this stuff's kind of funky. It's got, let's pull it out here. Okay. Everything's gonna fall out. And of course my light burnt out this morning. See? Wah, wah. Right over the fabric. Isn't that handy? So let's go into the light with this fabric. So this one's kind of cool. This one's got, I guess not so much a sheer, but I'm wondering if people would be interested in this. I could do a virtual shopping and literally go through all of this fabric. Would anybody be interested in that? That would be like a special virtual shopping. But it's kind of cool. Lots of this is vintage and really unique fabric. Let me know if that's something interested in. We can do a separate virtual shopping and actually go through all of it, and then you guys can see every bolt of fabric we have and the prices, and then we can discuss which ones that is. How much per yard for the black you're holding? This guy is $17 a meter for this one, and then you can see the thickness of it. Okay, next question. Christopher, after black fabric, will you show me the orange red wigs? I could do that, but first I'm going to stop and show Catherine the machine oil because it's en route. Machine oil. Okay, off to the wigs. Oh, there's the level. Didn't trip, but I kicked it. Okay, let's just go through those wigs. I can't remember what color you're looking for. Orange red wigs. Okay, we're gonna kind of scan the whole wall. I have sold quite a bit of my Arda wigs. Something that's a little scary is all of the shops down east are shutting down. So I'm not able to order hardly any supplies right now. I snuck in one quick supplies for, one last order for contacts. But this might be it for a while, guys, which is, which is not great because I really want to restock. There's some colorful wigs. Do you like any of those, Chris? Oh, Jessica Rabbit. There's that. I can't remember. Does Jessica Rabbit have bangs? I don't remember. But that might be the best one we have. No bangs. Up at the top. So that one there, I wouldn't recommend that one. As much as I want sales right now, those are those $15 wigs. They, I mostly sell them for people to create other things with them. Wearing them like that, they don't really wear that great, because they're really, really, really thin. So a lot of people buy them to make rats out of to make other wigs, or they buy them just for the caps. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend that one. We might have to bring something in for you, Chris, once everything is back at it. Okay, so where are we at now? Do you have Warblood Deco beads? I sure do. Am I making anybody dizzy? Oh, there's me. Okay, I have a couple different ones. I have these guys here, and I've got them in the 4.4, and I also have the crystal art. So if those work for you, just send me a message and I can let you know. Also, lightweight foamy clay stuff. So I am down to one container of foam clay, and I can't get any in it anymore. So keep that in mind. That is literally the last one I've got. What else here? That one. Fabric. Yes, I've got two Catherines looking at sewing stuff. No bangs. No bangs. Long, wavy, straight, orange, red. Is your floor level? No, it is not level. Should we look? Look at this. Look at how bad that is. See the bubble? See the bubble? It is not level. Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, this is not what you guys wanted to see. It's just funny. When you have a minute, can you go back to the serge or top stitching thread and let me know if you have green? Will do. I have. These are my greens. Any of those work for you? What is the best, to phone in an order or email? You might as well just give me a shout, because then we can just talk you through the order rather than an email. And then, because to be honest, usually when I get an email, I just end up calling you guys anyways, because I just want to confirm, what I've grabbed for you is correct and the price works and all that jazz. And then I'm just going to get your email and everything. So, yeah, just give me, once we're not live anymore, just give me a call. And then we can kind of walk around the store and I can make sure that I've got everything that you need. Second from the top. This one or the second green down? There's the dark green. Let me know. The one... This guy here. Cool. I will set one of those aside, Catherine. Ooh, do you guys ever notice these? These also, I'm actually going to move these because these don't get attention. I love these. These are little bags of sequins and paillettes. Funny story, when we bought Shirley Potter's, there was just boxes and boxes of these, and they were in little bundles, and they were all mixed up. And so I sorted them, cut all the little bundles, and made all these little bags. That was so much work. But look at how pretty the display is now. Yeah, I love this. What else are you guys looking for? What else can I look through? Do you guys want to look through some sewing stuff? Have you guys seen our little button tubes now? We moved everything into these tubes to save some space. So those are our bells. Those are just buttons and cover buttons. These are studs and collar ends. These are actually zipper ends. So what they are, they're the pulls that you add to a zipper. They're pretty cool, but to be honest, I bought them not so much to actually use as pulls, but they're just a really cool way to get these little jewels. A lot of people just cut those off the top there, and it's a really inexpensive way to add jewels and different things into costumes and headwear and all kinds of stuff. So these are really cool. That's actually a zipper end. And then we've got really, obviously really important, D-rings. Every cosplayer's must. We sell a lot of D-rings. Those are really important. And then we've got belt buckles here. And again, some of them I actually use as a belt buckle, or some of these. This guy is a hook and bar in the back here. Same with this one. But especially this one. A lot of people use these just for like decorating. So that's really cool. And then we just got some kind of like random stuff. I bought this from like a Notion place in Montreal. They were selling out a whole bunch of stuff, and they were like, "Do you want snakes?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want snakes." So they sent this to me, and it's been really cool. We've added them to so many costumes. It's kind of scary. I'm only down to this many snakes left, and then they're gone. And then coins and all kinds of stuff. These are just like you sew these guys on, and these are just gems, and same with those. And then these are jewels as well, which come in handy for so many different things. And then for all you crafty people building your cosplay, as well as trying to keep your kids entertained, we sell little sheets of felt. These come in handy very, very, very often. I'm actually expanding the line. So right now we've only got these 12 colors, but I'm getting another 12 colors in once I can start getting my orders back in. So that's these guys. I've got buckets and buckets and buckets of different buttons. So I buy them unsorted and just on these little cards. The reason why I do that is because they're cheap. So wherever we can save a few dollars here and there is great. So I have lots of folks who just kind of dig through these. There's lots of matching sets in here. And so it's just it's a cheaper way to get your buttons. And then we do cover buttons as well. Oh, I got some more. Sorry guys, I'm not keeping up with all your making kilts, looking for the belts, leather belts and buckles. Do I have love the goggles? Thank you for showing me any more steampunk respirators in store. Yes, I do. Okay, sorry guys, I didn't notice I had a bunch of questions there. Let me just show you, finish this wall, and then I'll go over and look at, we do have some respirators, not real respirators, costume respirators, but we'll go take a look at that. Any leather belts and buckles. I showed you our buckles. I don't sell leather belts, but that's a really easy secondhand store thing to do. And then I've got all those other buckles that I just showed you guys. I'm making kilts and looking for the belts. That's the only thing I have, but I do have kilt pins, if that's helpful. Oh, hi, Destin. Destin's back. Oh, hi, Wanda. Lots of people. Anyways, so here's our covered buttons. I don't know if folks still, we sell a lot of these, and I always wonder, are people just buying them because they're silver, or do they know that they're actually covered buttons? So what it is there's a little kit inside, and what these are for, you can see the instructions on the back. These are made to pop out, and you cover these with fabric and then pop them back into their shanks. And then you could have beautifully covered buttons to match your two-piece set. And then one other thing that we have so many of, which are really hard to find these days, is these appliques. We have loads and loads and loads of appliques. These are from Shirley Potter's. So a lot of times they were used for bridal or dance, that kind of thing. Now, these are not really used for bridal anymore, but what you can do is you cut them out. And then you could either add them to props or costumes, and you could paint them for texture. But they have so much, they're so versatile for so many different purposes. And then we carry feathers as well. We have so many feathers. The dyed feathers and the peacock feathers. And of course, all of our sewing notions, which are so important. We have grommets. There's some more feathers down there as well. We've got hook and eyes and snaps. Lots of different kinds. I chatted with, hopefully she's watching, but I chatted with a a lady this afternoon about sew on snaps, and she said, do you have them? And I said, yeah, I've got like all of them. We carry like every size of sew on snap. I've got like silver and black and white and clear and all kinds of stuff. So we have loads of different kinds of snaps and hooks and things like that, because you could never have enough. We've got shoulder pads. Shoulder pads are so important. So whether you're making a jacket, or you're just using them to pad things out, something that we've done in theater often as a really quick fix is you take a shoulder pad and you fold it in half. I can't really do this with one hand. And then you could put them in the bust of a costume, and that's what we call a cookie. And it basically is sort of like padding if you're wearing a corset or something like that, for your bust. So we use shoulder pads for like lots of different purposes. And you can see there, we also have a really big line of machine needles. I don't carry any low brand machine needles, not that I'm trying to be a snob, but like I always say, machine needles are not expensive. It's the thing you spend money on. Don't ever cheap out on machine needles. You'll save like $1 and it'll be a nightmare. It's one of those things that you just need to spend the money on. It'll make your projects so much easier. You'll save money because you'll save time. You won't wreck your fabric. You won't take your machine in constantly to get fixed. Buy good needles. Like I said, the machine needles they're not very expensive. So they're just not the place to try to save a buck. They're really important. And also change your needles out. So if you spent a whole day sewing, like a whole day, like 8 hours of sewing, put a new needle in. Generally, I find I ask people, when's the last time you switched out your needle? And they go, oh, I don't think I ever have. And so I always say, change your needle out. That's the first thing you should do. Needle threaders, just your classic unique needle threaders. Also these clover ones. I love these ones because they've got a little blade to cut as well. And you can see the wires there. So that's for threading. And then your little blades. More needles. These are new, actually. These are pretty cool. These are called cosplay packs. And why these are nice is if you can see there, they've got every kind of needle. They even have a twin needle in there and stretch and jeans and stuff. So it's really nice to just, rather than having to buy a pack of all of these guys, you can just buy one of these packs and get a little bit of everything. And then there's this one too. You can see the description's really close there. Universals and stretch and jeans and microflex and top stitch. So those are pretty new. And then I've got hand sewing needles as well. So there's those guys there. That's a place you could spend your money on. You don't have to spend a ton of money on hand sewing needles. Some people have their favorite brand, and they'll always only use that. But it's not like a machine needle. You can get away with buying, these really little inexpensive packs, and they work just fine. If you're sewing leather, or something really, really heavy, then you're going to need a different types of needles, or the curved needles, depending on what you're doing. But they still can just be like a unique brand. That's what I generally honestly use. Every once a year or so, I'll splurge on a clover pack and use those. And then I usually just kind of end up going back to these multi-packs here. And then I've got thimbles here. If you've come in for sewing advice, you'll probably hear my speech about everybody should use a thimble. Thimble's purpose isn't just to protect your finger. It's actually to speed up your sewing. So you generally wear your thimble, if you're right-handed, wear it on your middle finger. If you're left-handed, on your middle finger, your left hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold your needle. You're going to put your thimble here. You're going to push your thimble behind the needle like this, and then you're going to sew. So what that's doing is that thimble is pushing the needle, and then you can get speed, go really, really, really fast. And then yes, you're not poking your finger with your needle. But thimbles are generally for actually speed. There's my favorite thimble. Clover, medium size, silicone with a metal tip. They're the best. Oh, they're the best. You buy one of these and you'll have it for like 20 years. I sell beeswax as well. What we do with beeswax is we actually run our thread through it as we're hand sewing, and it coats the thread, and so it doesn't tangle as often, and it makes it stronger. And then there's some binding and stuff like that. Okay, now that I finished that wall, let's go take a look at the respirators. I got to remember where they are now. We moved everything around. Here we go. So I got these guys here. Again, for all you folks watching and concerned about the virus going on, this will not protect you, but it's a costume. So it's got elastic back there. We have sold these respirators for years and years and years. A lot of folks, again, they buy them, they paint them, they change them, they, you know, add them to different costume pieces, things like that. I like this too. This is one of my favorite masks. So it's that. The leather, we kind of chat about that. So I can go back to the needles there. So universal size 70. I'm pretty sure I do. Let's go take a look. Sure do. There you go. And an 80. Sure do. There we go. Can't be stuck at home without needles. I'll put that by your thread, Catherine. There we go. I'm also going to be clearing out this stuff. Does anybody like the 505? It's a temporary fabric adhesive. I brought it in. It just didn't really do well with my customers. So I'm going to be selling it off at 50% off. So if anybody's in need of this, I've got all these guys here. I'm going to be selling those ones off. So my customers just, I don't know, they just wasn't something that really moved very quickly. So we're going to be selling those. I hope I haven't missed anybody else's questions. Oh yes, don't forget about chatting about needles and threads. Or needles and thimbles and stuff. I have thread. So I've got the big spools. I've got top stitching. I have metallics. And then this is all poly. I also sell the top thread stuff. So the really heavy stuff, the buttonhole twist or whatever everybody calls it. So I sell that in white and then black. And then I've got a few of the colors of the top stitching. And then I also sell zippers. Again, I'm not able to stock these right now, so there's a few gaps there, but we have quite a bit in stock. So we've got our plastic zips, we've got a few of the metal, like if you're making trousers, and then I've got lots of the coat zips. So all of these are the different coat zips. I've got some separating, some closed end, and then I've got some invisible zippers as well. Why I like these coat zips so much is because they're so easy to shorten. So when you're shortening these, all you have to do is just cut with cutters. Just cut these teeth off, and then these little. Here, let me pull this zipper down. Yeah. So see these little ends right here? You can actually just cut those off. And I sell those, so you can actually just crimp those back on. Maybe I should do a video of how to shorten zippers, because that's really, really handy. And when you're sewing a costume, like whenever does the zipper is exactly the right length? That just doesn't really happen. 2 bottles machine oil. Absolutely. Also, I have all of these. I have boning, and I've got elastic. I've got all kinds of stuff. Don't mind all the mess there. I'm actually moving this around. That's why it looks like a mess. I've got elastic. And then I want to do a quick look at this wall, because I feel like this is the stuff that everybody's really working on these days. So I've got acrylic paint. Everybody needs acrylic paint. I got loads of it. This stuff is so nice. It's only $2.50 a tube. And I'm finding what was happening while we brought it in is people were complaining about the quality of like dollar store paint. You know, it's always dried, it's separated. So we thought this was a really good solution to that. It's $2.50, so it's still really inexpensive. When you take this cap off, it's actually still sealed up. So it's, no matter how long it's been sitting on the shelf, it's still in really good shape. And it comes in a really nice color line. And then we carry, this one's a little bit more expensive. These guys are $5.99. These are all the metallic paints. So we really liked these as well. When we teach our intro to costume painting, this is the paint that we use. And so we got different brushes here. And then all our different glues, our warbler beads. Oh, there's that level again. And then I'll just do a slow pan for all of those different glues we have, in case anybody is in need of anything. I carry a lot of glue because you need to, because there's so many different types of glue for so many different projects. The most popular of what I sell is, of course, the hot glue gun. Yeah, that's the most popular. And then all of our beads and all that stuff. Cool. Well, can I help anybody else with any other questions or anything like that? Just send me a message. And if not, I'll be more than happy to do another session of this virtual shopping. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope it was helpful. I think I will do that virtual shopping maybe early next week of all the fabric that we have. We can literally go through, everything, look at all of it, and we can kind of discuss it. And if you've got projects, you can send me photos of your projects. And then I can sort of suggest what I think is best for the fabric. And then we can kind of, go through all of it. So anyways, thanks everybody for joining us for another session of virtual shopping. And I hope everybody is staying safe out there, washing your hands and staying positive. It's really tough out there. I know I personally have had a bit of a rough day today, but doing this certainly helps. And the important part is everybody, stay creative. You don't get in a rut at home. And I know it's frustrating, and we're all assuming that Calgary Expo is going to be canceled. They haven't announced it yet, but we're kind of assuming that. But keep in mind, Edmonton Expo is in September, so that'll be most likely a happening. So, don't stop building that cosplay, because you'll get to wear it there, and hopefully animathons. So anyways, everybody take care, and we'll talk to you all soon.